Hello and welcome to another edition of IIABCal Voices. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. And for about 10 years, I worked in the insurance industry. I was part of the Insurance Association when it was IBA West. I worked for the Insurance Skills Center division, and I did the education coordinating and the event management directing. That's what I did for 10 years. And I left, came into media, and 11 years later, I'm back. Well, I'm back doing interviews and collaborations with IIABCal, talking to some amazing people who are doing things in the insurance industry here in California. This person is the incoming president next year of IIABCal. He's also the vice president of PTL Insurance Brokers here in Southern California, so he's not that far from me. And I now most of the time I've knew people I was talking to. He's the first person I don't know, so I get to know him and get to know him at the same time. Let's get his name out. Bryon Pedevillano.
Close enough.
Close enough. We're gonna say, okay, your name.
Bryon, yeah, Pedevillano.
Pedevillano.
Yes.
Okay, but your first name. Let's get your first name first, because I have a plain name, James Lott Jr. Just like don't sound like nothing. There's no cultural nothing to it. It's just like whatever.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
I get a few 1Ts sometimes. I'm not a parking lot. I'm a lot of 2Ts. But you, first of all, Bryon, how many times have your name been spelled every other way besides the way you have it spelled?
Yeah, the spelling part isn't as bad. It's the pronunciation. I get called Byron so frequently that to the point where I just answer to it because people want to transpose the R and the Y, so Byron. But my name, yeah. My parents, I've only met two other people in my course of life here on this earth that spelled it the same as me. But I know there's a few out there and whatnot. But yeah, there's no great story behind it either. That's the sad part. People always say, "Tell me why you spelled your name that way." And honestly, there's no good story. I'll have to come up with one though. But just so we just decided, hey, that's it. So there's no good story. I wish I could entertain you with one, but it's Bryon, and I answered to Byron, but it is actually Bryon.
That's so funny. And then your last name, of course, a long last name, Italian, clearly,
Right.
So have you ever been to Italy? Have you been to Italy?
I have actually, yeah. I was actually there for the first time 2 years ago. My wife and I got a chance to go over there, and it was a great experience. We're hoping to take the kids back, once things settle down with travel restrictions and whatnot. But we're great place. Absolutely love it. Went to Florence.
When you went there, did you feel some kind of connections? Because I knew you come with time. Some people like when I've gone to places where my family's from, kind of. I felt right. Did you feel anything?
It's funny you say that. And actually, my wife is Italian as well. And she actually looks more Italian than I do. She's got the olive skin, the darker hair. And so people would actually approach her and try to speak to her in Italian and whatnot. So, she has a look to her. And so, there was a little bit of a connection. And plus, I love the food. I'm a huge foodie. So the Italian food, growing up with Italian food, it was connected. It's one of these things where you feel at home once you get there. It was awesome.
Hey, Italians come in all shades, Northern Italians, very blonde, fair skin, it has happened. And so once in the Mediterranean, they're a little more my coloring or a little lighter, right? Basically,
sure.
Right?
No question about it, yeah.
All right, so sometimes when people start and they'll go, why insurance? I don't want to do that. Okay. But I'm going to ask you something that's kind of a cousin to that. You've been in insurance, but for how long now have you been in insurance?
20 years, just celebrated 20 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what has the insurance industry brought to you first personally, and what has brought to you professionally?
Wow, that's a great question. For me, I grew up in the industry. My dad started this business in 1976.
Wow.
And I've been blessed to work with him, still here today, and my two brothers as well. So all four of us actually work together in an office. And so growing up in the insurance industry, I know you had a great conversation with your Armitage duo, very similar, but two more brothers on top of that. So you got four personalities in an office along with, 20 something other employees. And personally, it just makes you, aware, number one, of how blessed we are to be in this industry and really, make time for one another. But family, it really has made the family aspect so much better. My dad was always around, is always around. Growing up, he coached our soccer teams. He was available for after school activities. So personally, it's just, I'm two great kids at home. I've got a 17-year-old and an almost 15-year-old. So I'm able to be a part of their lives. So personally, it's I couldn't have, written a better story.
Well, I want to stop and start the
sure.
first part, because you make a great point. I've been talking to people in the business. A lot of them have been coming into because their father was in it, or an uncle was in it, or a grandfather. But so there's what? So you said you have three brothers and you?
I'm one of three. So
Okay.
there's my dad and three of us.
So four men in the same family working at the same business. What is the secret to your success for not killing each other?
If you could see the physical layout of our office, you would see we're located in the four corners of the building. So that
I love it.
We started social distancing way before it was cool. But I think I have to say, and it was, Taylor said it, communication is key. We have to know that we're all here to do the right thing. Trust. We've been, professionally, it's been amazing how, with all of us being in the office, we've all kind of been able to fall into our own, specialties and really work hard and make the business better, each by our own way. So trust and communication, if I had to sum it up, those are the two things that I would say are probably paramount to anything.
And so I'm assuming each of you probably bring something to each are parts of the pie. So each of you bring your slice of the pie to the whole.
Right. Yeah. I mean, with any family business, whether it be insurance or a restaurant or whatever you want to put it in there, there's challenges inherent to it. And so, with us being able to, like you said, bring our own talents to the table, my dad obviously started this, so he's the chef, if you will. Yes. And he started things, and so we hold him at the level of respect that he deserves and he's earned. And so not even knowing it, I'm sure, he kind of started us on our own paths, and all three of us came in at different times, and each with a little bit of background, a little bit of what we're good at, and it's worked out. The success has been phenomenal for us.
So you knew coming out of the gate that you'd probably go into insurance.
No, just like everyone else, Okay, I actually, in fact, I like Melissa, our good friend Melissa, said the same thing. We had the conversation. There's no way I'm going to insurance. And that's kind of how it was. And I went off and I graduated from college, did some sales jobs and worked in different industries. And I met my wife and she said to me, "Why aren't you working for your dad? Why is it you don't want to make money for him and have success in the family?" So of course, behind all good men is a great woman. And there she was, pushing me in that direction to work with my dad. And I spoke with him and we kind of laid out a plan. My older brother had already been here for a couple of years, and I'm the middle child. And so, yeah. So that's a separate conversation.
Sure is. Me. Grandma, this is me. Yes, exactly.
Right. So I joined on in 2000, and then about 2.5 years later, my younger brother came on, and so it worked out. So that's kind of how I came about. It was something. I think I did say the words. There's no way I'm going into insurance, but like I said earlier, I couldn't have scripted this any better. This has been something that's a blessing, and every day we're lucky to be doing what we do.
So then, just go to professional. What have you gained professionally? Some of the things, I'm sure you gained a lot of stuff, but what are some of, because you're vice president, you've moved up, I'm sure you do everything, but what are some things you've gained professionally being in insurance?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the interpersonal skills, dealing with people every day. And what I tell our staff here, we have meetings every Tuesday with the entire staff. And I tell people, we don't get a chance to really prove our worth to our clients unless they have a claim or an issue or something like that. So that connection you need to make with those clients in their time of need, or maybe their time of questions, we can strive to really raise the bar and give them the information they need, be there for them. So those interpersonal skills are something that I immediately started learning, that, knowledge is key, but personalities and relationships, I put it right there next to it.
Well, I say this all the time. I'm saying on the show, but I don't think any industry, it's about people.
Absolutely.
It's not just this. That's part of the reason why we're doing part of the, this series, to show people that it's for people, by people, about people. That's what this whole thing is about, right? I mean, it's like, it's not just sales, like, buy this, you need this, like, it's about actually working together, because we're talking about people's businesses, their homes.
Right.
For some people, it's it's life and health. Some people, whatever it is, it still goes back to the person, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
I think it's very important. And were you always an outgoing person? Were you say you went to sales, so were you outgoing?
I think it was a little bartending, waiting tables, always doing things with people. So, but being the middle child, there we go again. I need that attention, and we're all very close in age,
Yes.
my brothers and I. So, having, active 3 boys in a house, I gotta be seen. So yeah, I would say if someone's gonna to pick one of the 3 brothers who's the most outgoing, I think my name would probably come off the lips.
I like that. I like that. Oh, well, here's a little side. This is coming up to me right now. I used to wait tables and things like that back in the day too. I was a waiter. I was a busboy. We did that years ago. And there's some things I do carry with me from there. What is one thing from that time period that you carry with you in this business?
It's funny, and this is a conversation I've had with my kids recently.
Okay.
Is I think everyone should be required to wait tables or bus tables one time in their life.
Ring the bell.
Without question, because you haven't lived until you've had someone get angry at you for something that's outside of your control.
Yeah.
And learn you can't make it personal. So without that's come on, that's basic 101. And I honestly, when I look at people to hire and bring on board, insurance knowledge is fantastic, but I always look for a little service industry experience, because to me, if you've been able to succeed in the service industry, I think there's pretty much anything you can do. So
that's actually a smart observation. I mean, retail, food service. Sure. Oh, seriously, yes. Yeah. Customer service. I mean, again, insurance is customer service. I mean, it's still customer service. They're not really that separate. It's just a different industry. That's all it is.
Right.
You're pushing other things. You're not pushing eggs and bacon. I'll tell you, when I worked the breakfast shifts, those were the hardest. Now, I was told 2 things. And it's all waitress. This is years ago. I was living in Sacramento. She'd been a lifer. And she said, James, I was like 18, 19 years old, just like a little fresh-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Right.
With my high top fade. I was all used to the 80s. I was young. And I came in there, and she's like, 2 things, James, for breakfast shifts. Make sure the coffee is always refilled and get the egg orders correct. For some reason, those were the 2 things. She was right.
Secret to life right there, yeah.
And that's what life, that life right. Make sure the coffee's okay.
There you go.
You can almost mess up. You can almost forget something on toast. You can almost mess up the meat a little bit. But people, their eggs.
They know their eggs.
Specific. I like mine either poached or over easy. I'm a big that kind of fan. But someone scrambled easy, scrambled hard. But coffee. People want their coffee in the morning. You know that. I'm like, and here I go. My thing here. You want your coffee in the morning. So when she said that, I was like, that's a metaphor for life.
It is. That's a good name for a podcast. You should put that down, James.
Oh my God, it's a good name for a podcast, isn't it?
Eggs and coffee. We'll work on that.
We're going to totally. Okay, so now what is your specialty in insurance? Like for you, like you personally, what is your specialty?
Sure. So our agency, like I said, we've got, about a total of 30 employees. So we're a full service agency, all departments. And we've actually, as I referenced earlier, been able to kind of split the lifting, if you will. My older brother and my dad handle mainly the commercial lines insurance department, sales, strategy, things like that. My younger brother does all the personal lines sales and oversight. And while I've done both, what I do now is mainly day-to-day, kind of keeping things going, talking to our employees, HR, whatever you name it. Sometimes it's fixing the coffee maker, but it's I've taken
important
again back to coffee, but then again, it's a little of everything. So I've kind of stepped back from sales over the last couple of years, though I will definitely get involved in things if I have referrals or people come my way. I still get that charge of going out and meeting with the prospect and selling them. Like I said, sales at heart. But that's kind of my specialty here in the office is dealing with things, the day-to-day, the HR, the people, the sales, motivation, things.
I can see that. I can totally see that. But the thing is, I think you'll always have a piece of you who's going to like to do that every once in a while. I mean, even, you pull back a little bit, you get a little older, you pull back some stuff. But, in case you jump in there, the adrenaline rush comes, it all feels good.
Even just to prove it to yourself again that you can still do it, I think is a part of it,
So now you are the incoming president for IIABCal. So
yes, I am.
I am very happy. I can tell you'll be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're becoming president at a very interesting time period. And next year is very unknown, right? I mean, all next years are unknown, right? But this next year, really going into unknown. How's it feel for you? I mean, because you're not there yet, but how's it feeling for you?
We've spent a lot of time, as you can imagine, as an organization, really talking about next year and the future. And Melissa, our current president, has done such a fantastic job of really, I think, positioning us to where we're going to be able to whatever it looks like in 21, succeed. I think the biggest focus for us is going to be able to meet our members where they want to be met. In other words, if they want to be online, let's go throw some online content like these podcasts, for example. If they want to have a in-person meeting, let's figure out a way to do that safely, doing everything the way we should. We have a hybrid option. We've got a great conference coming up here in November. It's fully online, but I can see that next year if we want to maybe switch it to a hybrid or a little bit of both. So, I think the challenges are really creating, necessities, if you will. It's the mother of all invention, right? Is puts us where we are, and I think the challenges really have made us think creatively. Clark Payne at the helm has given us a lot of good directive, a lot of good content to take in at every meeting we go to. He gives us a little food for thought, and then we have great planning meetings and strategy meetings. So, I think next year is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the challenge, certainly. But, it sounds cliche, but the team we have around us, starting with the IIABCal staff, all the way down to the, secretary treasurer and the incoming vice president, we've got the people in the right seats, I think, on the bus to get us going in 21.
I have all the confidence you'll be fine.
Thank you.
I'm just met you, but I just feel like you're amazing. You'll be fine.
Thank you.
It's gonna be good. Now you're right.
Feelings mutual.
But it's gonna be a good staff in place, and everybody you mentioned I know and have interviewed.
Right, of course.
So they're good. And Clark was my old boss. I love Clark. So why should independent agents and brokers, in your opinion, I ask this to everybody on the show, just kind of
Sure.
Why do you think they should join the big IIABCal? Why should they join these days?
Well, I think for us, if you're going to ask people who are, have seen it firsthand, they're going to say advocacy with John Norwood. If you've had some issues legally, you're going to say, Steve Young for legal issues. Again, names and they become household names in IIABCal. But I think for each, and that's kind of our challenge, I think, we have to be able to have our offering be something that fits so many different members, because we have no two members that look alike. We've got very small boutique agencies all the way up to behemoth letterhouse agencies, and they don't need the same things. So, for us to be able to say, here's our offering, and it may hit a box for certain individuals. But I think, obviously we do a fantastic job as the best state association when it comes to going up to Sacramento and pounding the drum for what's important to the independent agent. And in fact, I think we do too good of a job, because so many of our members don't even know how many near misses, were avoided. But I think, if you have a need, I guarantee you IIABCal can meet that need. It sounds broad in general, but I think we do so many things well, whether it be advocacy, with them, or even the programs. And we're starting some great program business. But again, that doesn't fit everybody's needs. So I think we've got great opportunities.
No, I personally, as a person who would be looking to this, I like when you said, meet the people where they're at. And I think that's a lot of industries right now having problems with that, because they don't know how to adjust.
Right.
As someone doing really well, I work in media, and we've had to do this. I had
Sure.
to, early on, I was one of the first people who was like, okay, I'll use Zoom, I'll figure this out, because my studios are shut down right now for COVID. So we had to figure it out and go, well, how can you do this? And so you're saying that offering virtual offerings, and then keeping them broad enough that maybe when things open up a little more, so I've feeling they will at some point,
Sure.
that now you have a new way of a new offering to people, which could be beneficial even later, even when you go back to in-person stuff. And so I think you're in the right mindset of just kind of like keep it broad, diverse, yet also targeted. It's kind of a little bit. It's a fine balance, but I think
it is.
I think you can do it. I think you can do it.
Thank you.
You are wonderful. Bryon, you are great, and thanks for taking your time to talk with me. I know.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
And I wish you the best success, and hopefully we'll meet in person one of these days.
Yeah, hopefully soon we will.
Yeah, I'll do that. So tell folks where they can find you, either online or where you find your company or wherever they want to.
Sure. Yeah, we're PTL Insurance, so you'll find us online at www.ptlinsurance.com. I'm personally on LinkedIn, Facebook, all the major ones. But you can absolutely pick up the phone, call us, send us an email. We're available for you.
They are. And I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all the social media platforms everywhere on earth. And then also JLJ Media is on all social media platforms too. Go ahead and like, follow, and you'll see these interviews plus many others. This show is on every streaming audio service. That's right, kids, from Spotify to Google to iHeartRadio. It is there under IABCal Voices. You'll see his name next there. Call him Bryon, what you want to call him, but his name will be there. His interview and all the other interviews will be there also. Go ahead and like and follow and subscribe and share with anybody you think needs to hear this or is curious. Go ahead and share that. And if you have any questions and you're afraid to talk to him yourself, you can contact me and I'll get you in contact with him. I can be a conduit between you guys. It's fine. And this video is on my online network, JLJ Media, which is on YouTube. And we have over 30 shows on that network, from Star Wars to soap operas and everything in between. So go ahead and like, subscribe. I think the button's here somewhere, or it's here. I can never remember. It's a little red button somewhere below us. Hit that subscribe button and then check us out and see what's going on and see if there's anything you want to talk about. And then we might have it on there. But thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us, and have compassion and take care.